Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Truth Table, Raising Frequencies, a show that went from March till July, and in the hopes of finding new ways and even some effortless ways of lifting people up, lifting their frequencies, like uh, the bells, the the bells that we were talking about. I gotta make sure I turn off that. But I have Sandra and Joe here today to share what they know and what they can do and what they can share as a part of this series. And I look forward to that conversation right after this. This is a very special series, and I enjoy it very much. And it's definitely timely to do everything we can to prop each other up, lift each other up. And I'm going to bring Sandra on first, and we're going to talk about her ideas. Welcome, Sandra, to the Truth Table. I'm honored to have you here with me.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me, Paul.
Now, you were talking about things that we were never told.
Yeah, it's amazing. So throughout like the community over last year, we've really focused on different modalities, bringing forth, you know, different practices people can do to become a little bit more self-reliant on their own health. But one thing we were never taught was the power that we actually have. So we were never taught how much power we truly have, if you understand what I mean. We were taught to look outside of ourselves for answers, permission, protection,
Yeah.
direction, truth. We were taught that power lives in institutions or systems or titles, offices, even authorities. But
Yeah.
what if real power has always lived much closer than that? So that's kind of the concept. What if it lives within us, within our thoughts, our choices, our prayers, within our words, within our ability to gather, to listen, to love, to build, to heal, and to act with clear intention?
Hmm.
So that's sort of the concept because we know there's an intelligence woven through all of life and everything carries energy. So everything carries information. The natural world does speak to us. So our bodies speak, our hearts speak, the
Hmm.
land speaks, and Creator speaks through signs, through feelings, through images and symbols and dreams and synchronicities. And that quiet inner knowing that often arrives before the mind can explain it.
Hmm.
So many people are starting to remember this. They're beginning to remember this. Um, the key is we are not powerless. We are not separate. We are not isolated individuals waiting for broken systems to save us. We are living men and women with conscious, with spirit, with intuition, and the ability to choose where we place our attention and our energy. And that really matters.
Yeah, I think social engineering has really taken power away from people. I think that even like masculinity has been demonized. You know, the natural masculine and feminine, divine feminine and divine masculine has been really attacked. I find,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And equally both, because the family unit has become quite divided, quite separate. It's very interesting. It's all part of a trend that we're seeing. And, people are in that burnout cycle, so because they've lost the true intention and focus and true, real, heartful meaning of the family unit.
Hmm. And I find the creator speaks to me through my gut.
Yeah,
Like I don't trust my head, I don't trust my heart, but my gut I have full confidence in.
yeah,
It's like
I,
never let me down.
I agree. I get that gut knowing, and I get a lot of symbols and just sometimes loud messages depending on what it is. And we have to remember that our intentions too are not passive. They're very directive. It's a
Mm.
signal. It's almost like it's a prayer in motion. So when we talk about community, when a group of people come together with a sincere heart and guided intent, something shifts.
Hmm. I
We may
agree.
not always see it immediately, but we can feel it. The
And that,
atmosphere
yeah.
changes, the heart
And
softens, clarity comes, the right people appear.
I've seen a good example of that, of intent with water.
Oh, yeah.
When
Yep.
you speak positive messages or negative messages, it really reflects after you freeze it and in its crystallized form. It really demonstrates
Yep.
that love
It's
or hate message.
perfect. Yep, perfect. You can there's so many experiments with that. And it's how so our bodies are also filled with water. Our cells are listening to us, right? They listen to us all the time. So it's really important we talk to our body very
Yeah.
positively, very lovingly, and,
Hmm.
and with intention, with pure intention.
Yeah, and this is an example of things that you don't see.
No,
But they
absolutely not.
really
Well,
have
you
profound.
see it when you have dis-ease coming through the body. That's when you
Yeah.
know that there's something going on, right? So that's kind of
Mm.
how we visibly see it. But I mean, it is really important, and it shifts your whole aura, your whole mentality when you're talking to your body in a positive, loving format, like talking to yourselves. They are literally listening.
Yeah, it is amazing to me though that but even with sound, I've seen demonstrated with the sand and
Yeah,
vibration and frequency how the right pitch and the right frequency makes a beautiful shape.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And there's so many different levels of frequencies that create beautiful shapes.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
even on the sound level, and when you're speaking, the tone you use can have a more profound effect.
yeah, yeah, 100%. I Some of my training is back in the 2015. I took a 4-year program in energy medicine, and we learned a lot about sound, a lot about colors, and how channeling different colors in your body, and just again back to intention, right? So, and I think if we begin to realize as a community the importance of not only raising our vibration and really focusing on the communication we have with ourselves,
Hmm.
it's with others as well. And again, back to intention, right? So it's not about pretending the world is fine. Many people can feel the systems around us are strained,
Hmm.
disconnected, no longer serving the well-being of the families, communities, etc. It's you know we don't overcome darkness by being consumed by it.
Yes.
We overcome by remembering who we are.
Hmm.
We overcome by choosing truth over fear, or connection over isolation, and discernment over confusion, etc. Prayer over of despair. So action over helplessness. It's really coming out of that dependency, and that alone, by shifting our focus, raises our frequency.
And this is why you were invited to the show. So, on a community level, do you have programs that you're involved in? Um,
So what? we've done over the last year, like I mentioned, we've focused on health and wellness, bringing forth a lot of different modalities. I too work with different modalities, in order to support the community. I work on a barter and donation system, encouraging others too to look at alternative ways we can bring our bodies into self regulation. And what that means is, our bodies have the innate ability to heal itself, but people can't grasp that concept when they're in the midst of a strong illness or dis-ease in the body. So we do have that ability, and sometimes there's just a little bit of assistance needed to bring our bodies back into where it is innately able and remembers how to do, is to heal ourselves.
Hmm. Now, if someone was looking for help, is there any way or a name where they can find you, and a company name or something, or
Yeah,
online, or?
I mean, I don't really advertise again because it's just really through just donation or barter. I am in Fenwick. There are people that can certainly reach out uh, by email if they want to know more information. Absolutely.
And they could also communicate, find you on Facebook, and perhaps
Yeah, I've
have
been
a meeting.
struggling. I've been struggling with the Facebook thing. Um,
Yes, it's
I
not a
just
good place. It's not a good place.
really isn't, but we're so dependent.
On the
You know,
connection. I think it's
it,
just about the connection, the
it
like.
is, but it used to be when I first went on, I was in Holland visiting my cousins, and they talked about this Facebook thing, and it's a way to communicate with family,
Yeah,
but it has become such a not about that anymore, so
it's not.
it's a little disheartening, but it is still a form of communication, absolutely. But we have to think outside the box sometimes. We really do, if we want to just sort of start cutting the cords to these dependencies that we have.
Yeah, because Facebook has been weaponized and there's a lot of negativity on there. Even
Yeah,
I post a lot of negativity, but it's more to inform people about things that are really hard to talk about. And I hate doing it because it is negative. And that's why I had to do this show specifically
yeah,
because of because it's so important to lift people up and show them how to do it. It's like learning how to walk. I mean, people have been socially engineered and they're getting bombarded with, doom scrolling. And, I do it myself, and I've left Facebook a few times, and
I
I
know.
encourage people to leave Facebook and find an alternative way to connect with the people that you love and your friends uh, outside of this place.
It would be amazing if we could.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that will come. And I'm sure if we all intended that to happen and came together as
Hmm.
communities, we can make these things happen, right? There's a
Yeah.
lot of things we can do, as a community.
Hmm.
And we really need to begin with what's in front of us, like growing our foods and checking on one another and sharing our skills and praying together, learning together, supporting local farmers. There's a lot of things that we can do um, as a community. And it's unfortunate we see such a burnout within our community, and by design, of course. And it would be nice to see that disconnection from some of those controlling things like Facebook, like you just mentioned, the scrolling,
Yeah.
if we would spend more time, outside or supporting one another, it probably would be a lot easier to recognize that, hey, this is a feel good. This makes me feel great.
Hmm. Yep. And Facebook is like a military. The military uses it. CIA admitted that it was a dream come true,
Yeah,
because they know where you are, what you say, who your friends are. So it gives them all the information they need to know.
yeah,
And
absolutely. It does. It
Yeah,
does. But I mean, we've got nothing to hide. There's nothing we're saying that's not true. You know,
yeah.
it's a,
I
it,
think it should be the other way around. It's us that should be able to see what the rulers are doing, and instead of
yeah,
vice versa.
yeah,
So we would have a
exactly.
say
Yeah.
in referendums. But thank you so much for your insight. I
Yes, you're welcome.
could bring you back on. I'm not going to say goodbye just yet, but just in case you have to pop off, I'm going to bring Joe on now. And
Amazing. And I do. I am. It's a work day for me, but I appreciate you having me on.
yes, and I hope you're welcome to come on any Raising Frequency show and to share more. Um,
Sounds
in the
great.
future. Thank you. All right, we got Joe coming up next. Welcome, Joe. I'm dying to hear about healing baths. Now, you mentioned healing baths. I want to know all about it because I've never heard of them before. So perhaps you can tell
Well,
me.
I'm an attendee. I'm not an expert on them, but
Oh, oh, I see.
I just attend them. But they're basically based on the principle of frequency healing vibration. Everything's energy, frequency, vibration, and the practitioners just recalibrate your body. Again, you were talking with Sandra about the memory of water
Yes.
through sound, right? So it's doing that.
So is it the tub that vibrates
No,
itself?
no, you just there's usually you just go there and you either on a yoga mat or a zero
Okay.
gravity chair, and you get into a meditative state, and then Virginia just starts applying the different sound treatments, and you can feel them vibrating through you. It's quite an experience if you've never done it before.
I haven't. I haven't. I was
Yeah.
dying to hear about all about it. I was visualizing a bathtub and
No, no, no.
sound, audible and uh, frequencies in the water to vibrate your body. And that
I,
sounds amazing to me.
Yeah, I went to one before where there was probably about 30 people at it. It was quite a big group event, and you get a lot of energy flowing in those, so they're interesting.
hmm I know you have a lot to talk about, so I'm just going to let you go and do it and do whatever you want. I guess I know you have a lot to talk about, so I'm going to let you go.
Yeah, it's kind of open ended thing to say. There's
Yeah,
so much going on
absolutely.
in this world. I guess I'll touch on why what first connected us. I guess was my post about our community support alliance group.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Um, and that's what brought Sandra on because Sandra runs the leads the branch in Niagara region. I
hmm
think Sandra's got close to 200 members there, and we've got another couple hundred in Haldeman, Norfolk, and it was interesting because in 2019 was when it came to me that I had to do this. Um, Kind of strange because I'm not a group person. I'm more of a loner type, but I was inspired or intuitioned into starting a community support group back in 2019 when I saw the fraud in the Canadian election with Trudeau getting in again. So I could
Yeah.
see, I had been paying. I started awakening probably in 2016, 2015, 2016 when CIC Trump started flipping tables and revealing truths, and
Yes.
that kind of got me interested. And it just happened to coincide in 2017 when I was retiring at the start of 2017. So it coincided with me having a lot more time on my hands to dig in and really investigate and use my 30 years of training and experience in investigations to try and figure out what the hell's going on in the world. Um, so it's been quite the journey since the Great Awakening journey, as most are familiar with. And
Yeah, I think we should probably do a regular truth table show to go over all the other stuff. Because I know there's a lot that we can cover, and that isn't really for the raising frequencies. But but you were talking about something that, yeah, where I noticed it, and I commented, and right away I thought, this is perfect for the show. Now, if I could just remember what the heck it was that you were
God,
mentioning.
I post so much stuff, and just to touch on it, I was listening to you and Sandra speaking about Facebook.
Hmm.
Um, the way I always approach everything, or try to approach everything, is, and I did this throughout my career. There's always multiple theories that can fit anything, right? And what I see from the Black Pillars, previously awakening people who have regressed.
Hmm.
Um, what I see is a choice, a conscious choice to choose the dark path all the time, without looking at the positive theories that could be. Like, for example, when you're talking about internet and AI, um, everyone wants to jump on. Oh, it's surveillance, it's negative, it's this, it's that. It's all of those things, but it's also information and knowledge
Hmm.
and teaching discernment, which is all part of the Great Awakening. And if people don't subject themselves to that and work through that, they're not awakening, because they're still easily programmed and easily duped by the powers to be, because they haven't focused enough energy and attention
Hmm.
on trying to put. I always compared it to a massive jigsaw puzzle with thousands and thousands of pieces. And complicating the matter is, you got a bunch of bad guys throwing fake pieces into the pile,
Yes.
right? But if you don't spend the time putting together your puzzle and and deciphering out the fake pieces of the puzzle, then you're never going to see the big picture, and then that leaves you vulnerable to being stuck in fear mode, because you
Hmm.
don't know what the hell's going on.
It's true, AI can be used for good and it can be very helpful, but it can also be used as a weapon to pretend you're someone else. There's lots of examples of that, and to misinform people, to even scare people. Um, so it can be used for good and for evil, just like medicine
It's
can be
like
used
anything.
for good and evil. Um,
Your car can be used for good and evil. It can take
yeah,
you to get groceries, or it can take you down the street to run someone over, right?
yeah,
It's all about intent. But anything that adds more knowledge to the collective consciousness, in my view, is has
yes,
very upside to it.
yep.
And if you want to get more into it, where does it come from? Where does AI come from? Where's the internet come from?
I would guess Gadriel, the devil.
I I would think, I think on the opposite. I think it's benevolent beings who are trying to awaken humans, because
It could be.
we're in such a pathetic shape right now, with our five senses being dumbed down so much and our sixth sense being totally wiped out.
Yeah,
Humans need all the help they can get right now.
yeah, yep.
And how else you going to awaken a mass awakening of all these humans, however billion there are, however many? I know we've been lied to about that too, the actual numbers, but how are you going to mass awaken all these people without internet and AI? You can't do it. People would have stayed in the dark ages, listening to their TVs or their books or whatever they're told by whoever's wearing a black robe, right? It's just this is it's part of the Great Awakening, and I really welcome it. And I've got a lot of close friends
Me too.
who think the opposite. They think they want to go down that dark path, and we're constantly
Yeah.
discussing it. And
It's very easy to slip into it, especially when you dig deep, when you research, like you and I. Well, we don't just surface. We don't just look at the surface. We want to know the truth, and we have to sometimes get in deep to get to that. So, what would you say is your go-to lift yourself up? When
oh
you're
God,
down?
well, that's been the spiritual part of the awakening journey, right? You start out as an investigation of the 3D world to figure out what the hell's going on.
Mm.
and all the deceptions, and then you figure out everything's a deception, and then you run into the darkness of what they're doing to the children, and that's when you start to say, okay, there is a supreme evil out there. Whether you believe what they believe or not, this group of humans or non-humans have these beliefs or these needs that involve humans as victims, and
Yeah.
that's when you start awakening, and that's when, like, in order to work through that, you've got to meditate. You got to quiet your mind, or else your mind's gonna be spinning in the past and the future, and then it's gonna spin out of control. So daily meditation is very, very important, just to calm your mind and to quiet your mind, and then you'll start getting intuition from your, I call them my ascended guides.
Mhm.
Some might call them Jesus, some might call them Yeshua, some might call them Buddha, whatever you want to call it. They're ascended beings providing guidance. And
Mhm.
beyond that, like, I don't get into the, other than studying human beliefs and going back to the Sumerians and
Oh,
the ancient Egypt, and because that's where all our modern religions, that and astrology is where they've all originated from, right?
yeah, yep. The Sumerian tablets was a long read and very difficult. The first big section was all these going through the genealogy. It was like, I'm not going to remember any of this. But I finally got through that part, and then it was very interesting. But it does coincide with my retranslation of the Hebrew, because I found out they they put Gadriel and replaced Elohim. Elohim basically is the Anunnaki, you know, and
Mhm.
the sons of God. And in the Sumerian tablets, it was a woman that's, made us in their image.
Mhm.
So, and in the original Hebrew, it was ruach is a feminine noun. So they erased the woman in the Bible.
Mhm.
So I was very offended, and I was also scared a little bit at first because who has the power to do that? Like, why would they say this is the word of God and they altered it? You can't do that. That's a crime against humanity. We have a right to know. To me, that's archaeological documentation. You know, if they're carving it and smashing it into stone, I mean, it's obviously they're not going to be lying. I don't think lying was a thing then. Because in Sumerian tablets, they admit to making mistakes. Our arms were too short and then they were too long. And so they admitted to their own flaws and they talked about the creator. So
Mhm.
they weren't God, but they admitted that they were like gods and they lived over 400,000 years. So they were way more advanced than we were.
Mhm.
So it really, but I had to retranslate the original Hebrew of the Bible to get to where I am today,
Wow. Yeah.
to find out that they were lying, and what a horrible thing, you know, to do to mankind. Because nobody, even the priests are told, this is the word of God, the end, no question, ifs, ands, or buts, and
Mhm.
that's what they teach. They teach what was written. But I said, wait a minute, my spirit, my gut says go deeper. And I did. And I said, all right, I got to go original Hebrew, go right to the source, and word by word by words. And I translated and I found lie after lie after lie. And even the Quran and the Bible says the Spirit of God, and the Torah says the wind. So they're all lying. All the different churches all religions are lying and remove this woman.
Yeah, there's Sophia, right? Is that who you're referring to, Sophia? Yeah.
Sophia, yes, Queen of Heaven, she's
Mm.
referred to. But yeah, I was going to do a show about that as well because,
Yeah, and again, I don't really buy into any of it, right? It's all interesting human beliefs. I believe about the only thing I believe is intelligent design,
yes.
because we have so much tangible proof of intelligent design.
Mm,
We got sacred geometry, we got the Fibonacci sequence. Like, it's just
yep.
right in our faces, right? Um, Now, what that intelligent design, I really like reading about the Gnostics.
Oh,
their
Friday
beliefs.
show. That'll be Friday show. I'm doing a show on the Gnostics.
It's really
Yes.
eye opening when you start
Yes.
to looking at that. It makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense, and a lot of things fit. Um,
Hmm.
not saying I
Yeah.
believe it or disbelieve it, but because I really hate labels.
Yes.
Like I
Yes.
hate people just they're such pack animals, herd animals that they
Yep.
want to say I'm this or I belong to this or I belong to that, and
Yeah. Like I don't see Elohim as I see them superior than us, but they also altered us. They defiled us, and then they shortened our lives. So they were not good to us. We were before they were. I mean, sorry, we were something different before they changed us. What we were is not known, but they're still family. You know, they're our brothers and sisters. They just come from
well, we
another.
got their DNA. We got their
Yeah,
DNA for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're from their creator, but you know, they did things to us they shouldn't have. So we are, you know, victims of them.
Yeah.
We're not. They didn't come here to, you know, benefit us. They actually hurt us, and
It's kind of similar to the way humans have modified different species of
yeah,
animals, right?
they're
And they
doing
like
it to
look at
us now. They're doing it with the COVID. They're doing it with the, you know, with DNA in there. They're still genetically modifying us. You know,
mhm.
we've never escaped this constant invasion to our, you know, our creation. But you know, I do think that we're in a point in time where we're being going to be restored, and they're trying to stop it. And I don't
Yeah,
think we're going to be able to do that. And this is a part of why we're here today.
and that's the positive
Yes.
timeline that I think trumps every other timeline is that there is a shift occurring,
Yeah.
a frequency vibration shift in the universe, and we're seeing it in the Earth. We're seeing it with the strange weather, and I know there's weather
Yep.
seeding that's gone on in the past, but
Yep.
that's not that's not that's a bit of a veil for it, a veil
It
for
is.
what's
Yes.
happening,
I agree.
and there I don't know what's going to happen to the NPCs. That can go back to cloning and Cabbage Patch and all that stuff. You can go down that as to why we have so many NPCs.
Yeah,
Um,
like 80% of the population, I heard. What
yeah.
the hell? That's
Well, it's true though. You go into any coffee shop and start asking people what's going on in the world.
hmm.
Like you get the blank fluoride stare 80% of the time. And then every once in a while you find someone that's awakening and you get that feeling, okay, I found one. Now we can have a communication, right? It's
Yeah.
and I don't know if those NPCs, if the vibration shift is going to reactivate, if they've got a soul, if it's going to reactivate it, or
Hmm.
whether they're just going to go the way of. I really think the dark reptilians, the archons, the whatever you want to call them, the ones that are doing what they're doing to the children, the
Yeah.
ones that are either underground or outside the ice wall or somewhere. They're coming from
Mhm.
somewhere interdimensional, wherever they're coming from. I really think they're in a low enough vibration to be able to do those things that I kind of visualize. You see these mountains that look like giants that turn to stone,
Yes.
fossilized,
Yes. Many.
just suddenly fossilized. I
Yep.
see. I can see that happening to these. I call them two-dimensional because they're so low vibration. They're just above one-dimensional, which are like rocks and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And these evil ones are like two-dimensional, and I really see them going down to just being inordinate objects again, like rocks.
Hmm.
Um, and the three-dimensional people, they're going to have to, if they're going to survive, they got to start rising and get to fourth dimension in order to get beyond this zombie state that they're in through this hypnosis, this mass hypnosis and mind control that's been going on for
A long time.
thousands of years, like back to biblical times. It was
Yeah.
all mind control by the back then they called them the high priestess and stuff like that, but they were just politicians of those days, right? And they
Yeah. And the
just
standard, even the standard tuning in music was weaponized before I was born.
Hmm.
in the 50s. So this has
Yeah,
been
well,
going on for a very long time. We were born into it, oblivious to what was going on. And I think it's really empathy that makes us want to, you know, fix that unease feeling that we have and to correct it.
mhm,
So there's a reason I feel like this, and about this situation. So I have to look deeper into it, and
yeah,
hopefully that um, we're able to help people to see something they've never seen before. And archons, for example, just means rulers. The Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. We don't see them, but they're there, and it's obvious that they've got ancient knowledge to know to lower music just a little bit, not even a half a tone. It's so slight, but
mhm,
enough to make it so it's harmful instead of beneficial, like 432 music,
yeah,
which is what the background music is right there.
yeah,
I write all my music in 432, and it plays in the background quietly to uh, to be a medicine. It's my it's my fight back. It's
mhm,
as soon as I found out about it, I erased all my music and I started writing 432 music. And one of my past guests from Raising Frequencies has showed up here. Oh, he's not there. He is now. He turned into a chair.
yeah.
But,
You mentioned
there he is.
you mentioned something there, Paul. That is very important, and it's a very big blockage for the NPCs, normies, whatever. Is
Sound?
it's the multi-generational aspect of this,
Mhm.
and people say, how could these nefarious plans against humanity been taking place for thousands of years from one generation to the next? It's just too massive. It's too all involved.
Mhm.
There would be people that would rat them out and stuff. So that leads down the lines of, okay, now how is it being done? Because we know it's being done. So then that takes you down the
Yeah.
bloodline path and the different bloodlines and
13 families.
yeah, and probably even other ones above that that we're not aware of, right?
Yeah. Well, I just know their time is short
Hmm.
because we're at a fulcrum point for mankind, and I'm so happy because it's going to end, you know, and we're going to be able to be spiritually awake. People are going to see that we're connected, that we're not actually divided. We're actually family,
Yeah.
and that even includes the archons. We're even related. They're just like the neighbors that they're like family we don't invite to the party because they always ruin it. They always ruin the party. Welcome, Barrett. Always a pleasure to have you, my brother. He has also lifted us up many, many times, whether during a show or when he's singing Elvis Presley.
It's too kind. It's lovely to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation, as always. Joe, it's lovely to be in your beautiful company, brother. It's listening to your frequencies. Always
Okay.
a pleasure to meet a fellow brother. Yeah. No, I mean 432, brother. Yeah,
432.
yeah.
That's
You're
that's what I do. I do it clandestinely. Of course, not today because I actually brought it up. So I've kind of let them all know. All the archons know now. So when you're feeling down, what is your go-to to raise up your frequency? What do you do?
I'm personally myself. I'm so blessed again. Sorry, I mean a lot of our beautiful viewers. I'm kind of repeating this on and on, but I'm being so blessed. I've got the garden, the beautiful garden. I call it Garden of Eden.
Hmm.
So for me, it's such an upliftment when you're with nature and you're grounding yourself, you're earthing yourself, and yeah, just hearing the sounds of nature. Um, the bees, it, just the biodiversity, and just, you know, playing with the earth, planting. And Sandra mentioned it as well, you know, in reference to, you know, if you have good access to good clean food, um, put, you know, what you ingest will have a knock-on effect on how you perceive things as well. So it's important to get the best possible food. And for me, the ultimate is to be able to grow it yourself, or, you know, you work with local farmers, and see, you know, the
Yeah,
ethical way of doing things.
getting your
But
hands in the ground and your feet, bare feet. Go bare feet too. And
absolutely,
yeah,
yeah,
and hold a tree, hug a tree while you're barefoot. And
absolutely,
there's a loop that happens through the
yeah.
tree. You know, I've never tried that, and I've been wanting to. I must do it because it's another thing that takes little effort. Just slip your shoes off, and just put your hands on a tree, and just stay there for. It doesn't even take that long.
All
And
the
just
all the Absolutely, bro. All the good things in life doesn't even cost you a penny, because, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
there's like forest bathing as well, just having a nice stroll through the forest. And obviously, we have two beautiful dogs as well. That's incredible, and of course, our beautiful cat. Um, the connection with animals, very uplifting, very healing as well. And
yeah. I
mm,
find that with animals too.
yeah,
They've really lift me up, especially my neighbors. My landlord's dog is just beautiful.
yeah,
But yeah, she lifts me right up. She just shows me love. It's almost like the creator's love. It's unconditional, unshaken, immovable, and it just always exists, like forever and ever. I mean, that's just how I see it. Dogs are like a perfect example of my perspective of how the creator loves us.
yeah.
So,
And And if I can throw a few more things as well, I mean, the ultimate for me personally is retribution, because um, you know, you kind of reap what you sow, what you give out, and to be unconditional, not to have expectations, and to go out there and to be kind, to be loving, be compassionate, to be empathetic, to be sympathetic, but not, you know, to understand the cause of the pain of our beautiful brothers and sisters, and just to show up, you know, to be present in yourself. And you know, the more present you become, because you enjoy who you are, because you've taken responsibility, ownership, and accountability. And in that presence, people feel comfortable to be themselves, and they naturally let their guards down, and things that have been suppressed naturally flows out. Certain implants and things that's causing harm, the emotional baggage begins to gradually dissolve. And that for me is one of the most uplifting experiences, when you can reach out to your fellow brothers and sisters and hold space, and you know, they can sort of be more centered, shall we say. um, and can you hear me okay? The sound has stopped a bit. It's fine. It's gone a
I've
bit.
I've kind of developed a 5-prong approach
Mhm.
to dealing with everything. I guess you could. But basically, if you're experiencing struggle, then you want to focus on your strengths to balance out the struggle. If you're experiencing loss or anguish, then you want to focus on gratitude, and which is what you're describing, the things you're gratitude for. So if you got grief going on, or if you feel you've lost something, focus on gratitude to flip that. The next one's very important, and it deals with anger and emotions. that people react on. And what I say to balance that is awareness. Because if you're aware of why you're getting angry or why humans get angry in certain situations or react emotionally in certain situations, then you'll have the self-awareness to deal with it before it negatively impacts on the situation. The other thing is fear. And fear's a tough one, because what I got come up with to balance that is faith. But when I say faith, I'm not talking about a religious faith or anything like that. I'm just talking about faith in the creator of everything, whoever that may be, right? That it's a benevolent source. It's not good's going to prevail over evil. It's interesting when I say that, and you go back to predictive programming over the years in movies. 99% of the time, the good guys win in the end of the movie. So hopefully that's the predictive program for that. The last of the five that I like to use is worry. If you have worry, it's because you're lacking wisdom. So wisdom will cancel out worry. So, and that takes work to acquire wisdom, because like we're talking, Paul, wisdom means you got to dive down the holes and you got to face all the darkness to gain that wisdom. So those are the kind of the five pillars that I like to use. And I visualize them on my left hand, the five fingers of the left hand. And in meditation, you can connect with your right hand with each of those five fingers, and you can meditate on each of those topics and review how you're doing in those areas, how you've done during the day, how you've done during last week in each one of those areas, where you've slipped, where you need to improve, where you've shown improvement, and where you're at, basically. A lot of what we're seeing in the mainstream 3D, I believe, is tests. It's tests on humanity to see what their discernment ability level is at now.
Yeah.
Because to move forward, whoever's in charge, to move forward, they have to know if the people are ready. So they put out these crazy dramas that are obviously staged, false flags, over and over and over, to test humanity to see, are they getting it yet? Mm-hmm. And then they can gauge that through social media. Like I said, social media is very important, I think.
Yeah. Yep. I think you're right. And yes, wisdom does definitely take a lot of burden away, because you can see through it. It makes it a lot easier to deal with, certain things. Prayer helps a lot, because I just send out love, to even my enemies. Just bombard them with love. It's like, you're a bad person, but I still love you. Because I think love is our superpower here.
Prayer and meditation are really the same thing. They're just different titles, different based on different cultural beliefs, but it's the exact same thing. You're communicating with the energies that you unfortunately, our five senses have been dumbed down too much. We can't see these energies. We see like 0.005% of all the energy in our universe, and energy is information. So we're basically looking at page one of a book and trying to figure out what the book's all about.
Yeah, mankind was put in a wheelchair.
A mental one.
Yeah, and genetically modified, dumbed down, many different ways. Even the flickering of screens are a part of this. I mean, they've used every avenue they can, and still there's still people that have their head above the water and can see, that can help lift other people up. And so it's a very exciting for me to be a part of the process. I feel like I'm on the right side of history, that I'm on the good side of it, and I want to lift everyone off their wheelchair. And that's what we were, we were born handicapped. We really were. I mean, even the Anunnaki put us in a wheelchair. Before that, we were living 1,000 years, and then they had to kill all their offspring because they liked us so much. They started mating with us, and they should have never done that because they were not like us. Even though they altered our appearance to look like them, so so they did it again. So they shortened our lives to 100 years because we became too intelligent. But even at 400,000 years, they still were not imperfect. They still had wars. They still couldn't keep their hands off of the women. They were not good people, okay? They were exceptional when it came to knowledge, science, technology. They utilized what the Creator offered to them, the same thing the Creator offers to us, but they put us in a wheelchair, and the Creator is going to lift us out of that wheelchair and restore us, and that's why I'm excited.
A major piece of the puzzle, a major key is going to be the reveals about the Tartarian Empire, what they really were, what happened to them,
Right.
because they're basically the missing link, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
They
That's
left
probably the
behind
thousand. That's probably when we lived 1,000 years.
they left behind their architecture to
Yep.
send us a message,
Yep.
and it's going to be key.
But it's also showed us what we were capable of uh, before they put us in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And that's just a way I perceive it. I think we've been, arms and legs have been cut off, so we've been really disabled.
Mm-hmm.
They disabled us, and the restoration and the spiritual awareness and of our connection and all of that is going to be such a beautiful experience, and preparing each other for such an event is very exciting for me, and I'm glad you both are part of that because I think it's very, very important and special and timely because I think we're in this time right now. I think
It's
it's
very
coming.
important. I find that brainstorming is something that I find very useful, and like I mentioned, our community support alliance that we started in 2019, we were meeting every week despite the illegal mandates. We were
Hmm.
finding a way to meet every week, 30, 40, 50 of us, and we were talking about everything that was going on in the world,
Hmm.
and we were brainstorming, trying to figure out what's going on, and we did that. We've done that. We just meet monthly now, but we still do it monthly. And we
Hmm.
also share a communication platform on Telegram where we're constantly brainstorming. So as a group, you're more able to figure out what's going on in the world than trying to do it all yourself.
Yep. Yep. Well, I think we should do another show, Joe, where it's not a raising frequency, but just a regular truth table show where we can delve into, the other stuff, because I know we could talk about a lot of stuff, and I would definitely like to do that if you're willing to do that. Um, and Barrett, of course, is uh, a regular. I think he's been on the show about 10 times, perhaps. But I always appreciate you too, as well, brother. So I am going to wrap up this show, and thank you everyone at home for joining us, and I hope we've been helpful and giving you hope and inspired you. Hug a tree. It really does something. People think it's silly, but it's really actually profound. And even the words you speak are so profound, like the effects it has on water. So everything that you intend, really does affect even yourself. Even self-deprecation is such a bad thing for yourself. and I've done it because I don't like to when I make a joke, I don't like to do it with, using someone else as the victim of the joke. So I turned it back on myself to make it easier for me to do it, but so I had to learn to tell jokes better. So thank you both for coming on, and I look forward to Friday is going to be all about Gnosticism, the Gnostics. So Friday's going to be an interesting show as well, and I hope to have you back on, Joe, because I think there's a lot more that we can talk about.
Is it
And
same time?
Bear,
Is it same time, Paul, or 2 o'clock?
probably 2 o'clock, yeah. But I mean, if we have to change the time, that's okay as well. And thank you too, Barrett, for coming on and always being available for me. I appreciate you so much. And see you all next time. Raising Frequencies. I'm not sure when the next show is, but as you both now know, it's the doors open for you both. Any Raising Frequencies show in the future, and we'll see you then. Oops. Oops. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back on Friday for the Truth Table, Gnosticism, with Trevor Peace. Let's see, what time is that going to be? I have so many notes here now. 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Yes, Gnosticism. And then I have Sam Graham on Sunday, and Maxime Bernier, the leader of the People's Party, on Tuesday. So that's it for today's show. Thank you for joining me. I'm Paul Everton, the host here at the Truth Table, raising frequencies once again.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!